Carmenere, a Bordeaux-style grape thought to be extinct until one day somebody realized that over 50% of the Merlot planted in Chile wasn't Merlot. It was actually Carmenere. That's where most of the Carmenere is grown. But tonight we are going to go ahead and discuss a wine that's produced in Walla Walla, the grapes, Carmenere, grown in the Walla Walla AVA, 2013 Beresan Carmenere. Stay tuned. Hey, you are tuned in to the Rookie Wine and Whiskey Enthusiast channel, YouTube's primary channel where I do like to try to discuss Washington State wines, Washington State whiskeys and spirits, but not exclusively. But as the content goes forward, you're going to see more and more Washington State-based spirits as well. That being said, I also said not exclusively, so sometimes we will discuss, as some of my other videos have proven, other wines from around the world. So that being said, tonight we're going to go ahead and discuss 2013 Beresan Winery's Carmenere. Now, my wife and I purchased this back in 2014, 2015, can't remember the exact date. We've had it downstairs in our cellar, and it's about time we opened it up. Now, Carmenere, for years, was mistakenly, most of the world's Carmenere is grown in Chile and Argentina. And for years, a lot of people thought it was Merlot. But DNA testing came around and they realized, hey, this was a grape they thought was extinct, but they found it in Chile. And thankfully they have, because Carmenere can be an extremely spicy, really a red fruit, spicy based wine that really takes on the terroir that it's grown in. And what I personally like about it is that spiciness that, and I'm talking white peppers and paprika and things like that, can give it a level of complexity that I personally find challenging. Now, Carmenere is also a wine that you're going to find that a lot of people just don't like for those same aspects. A lot of Carmeneres will have a kind of a green pepper note to it, and personally, I'm not a fan of green pepper, but I get it in this wine. A lot of times, it doesn't really bother me. For me, it's, for those that know me, green peppers are the devil's vegetable. That being said, let's go ahead. Now, Beresan is merged. They shared a location with Balboa Winery, and I believe they've now merged. It was the same winemaker for both the Beresan and the Balboa label, but I believe it's now completely under the Balboa Winery label. And when I purchased this bottle, I had to look at my notes. I purchased it for $35 or $36. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, this is an extremely deep ruby, almost purple. It is not very transparent at all. Very little light comes through this. Now, there is no artifacts, but I did notice after I poured it, and I have let it sit in my glass because, as I said, this has been sitting in my cellar for 3 or 4 years. I do notice a lot of sediment on the side of the bottle. That's normal, especially when you have a red wine sit for so long. Let's go ahead and take a nose on this. Right off the bat, I'm getting a deep raspberry note, some red currant. There's a little bit of vanilla on this one, and it's very pleasant. It's packed right behind the red currant. But there is that peppery note, almost like a white pepper. But I do get, maybe a little bit of red chili as well. Not the spicy red chili, but just basically a red chili where you notice it and you go, oh, that's that flavor that the red chili gives you. All right, let's go ahead and take a sip, shall we? I will say this. This is a wine, after sitting in my basement, I probably should have decanted. I get that red raspberry. I get the red currant right off the bat. but it's followed now. The vanilla has kind of slipped away. I do get a little bit of vanilla on the finish, but now I get a very strong, prominent white pepper note. The paprika, the red chili note has kind of slipped away as well. And it's been replaced by that prominent green pepper note, green bell pepper note. It's prominent, it's not strong, but it's present. The finish on this is relative. I would say it's medium. It's a medium finish on it. It's started to drop off relatively quickly. Let's go ahead and have another sip on this. I do like this wine. I do like the challenge of the peppery notes in this. I've had several higher end Carmeneres from Chile, and they are outstanding wines. I've also had some really bad Carmeneres from Chile. And when you have a bad Carmenere, you know you're having a bad Carmenere. And to me, a bad Carmenere, that green pepper note is throughout the flavor, and it just overwhelms everything. This, not so much. It's there, it's present, but it blends into the back, and that vanilla note does come back a little bit on the finish. Yeah, it's a relatively pleasant, prominent note. But the red raspberry, the red currant, the white pepper, it's there. It helps lengthen the finish on this and help probably take that bell pepper to keep it to a backseat style note. Like I said, sort of like your annoying mother-in-law who likes the backseat drive. That's the green pepper note in the background. You just learn to ignore her. So, sorry. For those that love their mother-in-law, I love my mother-in-law. Love her to death. But maybe one day I'll tell you about the story where she was backseat driving in my truck. Anyways, let's go through the body on this. This is a medium-bodied wine. Tannins, medium minus. This is not a very, it doesn't have a whole lot of tannic structure to it. You get the tannins, but it's not. For me, I'd like a more tannic wine, but for this particular grape, it's perfectly fine. The acidity on this one, again, it's more of a medium acidity to it. There's almost no tartness except on the back end. The alcohol on this sits at 13.9%. Sweetness, this is not a sweet wine. Matter of fact, you probably could get more sweetness if you walked by a candy factory and didn't even taste anything. This is a not a very dry wine, but I would put this in the dry category. The only sweetness that comes out really is a little bit of fruit sweetness, but it's almost non-existent. What am I going to give this a score now? I looked on their website. They do offer the 2014 Carmenere. Is this a wine that I would love to buy again? Yes. Is this a wine I will probably buy again? No. My wife doesn't particularly like Carmeneres as much as I do. And I know the reason we bought this wine is she actually did like this one, but she had some reservations about it. I'm hoping that with the cellaring of this, when she comes home tonight, I'll be able to share a glass and see what she says. So that being said, I'm going to give this a solid 89 out of 100, almost a 90. I wish the finish on this were a little bit longer. My wife and I just came back from Walla a couple weeks ago. We did not go back to Beresan. It is one that I would like to go back to. So anyways, that being said, as my wine dog walks right by the tripod. So anyways, oh, you're all wet. Thank you. Anyways, that being said, have you had Beresan's Carmenere? Is there another particular Washington State Carmenere that you guys have had that you want to go ahead and talk about? Let me know what you think. Is Carmenere even on your radar? Is it one of those wines that you go, what is it? Is it something that's up my sleeve? Is there another Carmenere that you recommend that I give a try to? So that being said, if you like this video, please go ahead and hit the thumbs up. It does help with the algorithms. That way, when people do a search for Carmenere, this will help come up into their search feature. Also, if you do like my content, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. When you do hit the subscribe button, the little bell icon is going to pop up. Go ahead and hit the bell icon. That one, when I do upload these videos, if you like them, you can go ahead and get notified then when I'm sharing them. So that being said, also sharing, go ahead and share this video. If you have a local wine group that you are part of on Facebook, go ahead and share this video with them as well. Maybe it'll spark some discussion within your own wine group about Carmenere, the grape. So, anyways, as always, Sunday night, please drink responsibly. It's a whole new work week ahead. And as I always like to say, life is too short for either bad wine or bad whiskey. This is not a bad wine. This is a really good wine. So, cheers. Yeah, I think my wife will like this.